Hey everyone, welcome back to Jaraci Cup 7, and today we finally finished casting Group A, because obviously MarchWaden and Houston just played their games like about 30 minutes ago or so. Here I am casting. Bit of a later start today, but that's just fine. Oh, I thought it was 5 p.m. It's only 3 p.m. Wow. Nice! Anyway, so game 1 here is going to be Coalition versus ConF, which is pretty fun to see. Obviously, I mentioned this because MarchWaden has been playing, oh, I thought he had only 3 salvagers. I was like, what the heck? He's been playing ConF mostly, I believe. This is a little bit of a mix-up right here. He actually had the first pick, so he picked Coalition blind. Houston picks ConF into it. MarchWaden goes for Kalash Teeth. I don't know about the pick. It's a good map for both factions, I guess I would say. Coalition obviously has got the assault cruisers and the artillery, which is very, very nice, but ConF has such a strong, very late game on this map, because obviously they can get the kind of siege and the cruise vessels off the carrier. A lot of movement impairing blockers that do not impair, obviously, the function of artillery, so that's kind of what we expect this to go into, but you never know, because the early game could be pretty spicy here. Coalition really likes this map for AAV rushing. I think that's pretty well known. So we'll have to keep eyes on that. Right now it looks like the build here, we do have Sandscar Fab first for Houston, probably going to go up to a tech. I don't think ref mode is on the table here. And it is going to be carry production upgrade with LAVs coming out for MarchWaden, so he'll probably go for a support cruiser after about 5 of these, but keep your eyes on that as well. And we have actually both of those players in the chat too, so they'll be... I don't know if MarchWaden is actually listening. I can see him in the chat list, but it's hard to say if he's actually, like, here, if you know what I mean. Hey, yeah, he is here. Okay, great. So they obviously can tell us what their thoughts were during this game, if they like. Production upgrade done here, but we have no tech. It's going to be Skimmer Rating coming out for Houston. That's an interesting choice. I mean, obviously, I would really have not been a fan of this in... What am I thinking, in like JC 5, 4, 6, whatever, because like it was so common for Coalition players to just go straight to tech here. But I don't know, we don't have any tech. It's going to be a bit of an LAV spam opener here. Maybe this is actually okay for Houston. This is kind of something we haven't seen before. Indeed, he's going to get the first kill here and he's going to trade really well. He's going to grab 2 LAVs for free, maybe. Well, Houston, MarchWaden maybe could push for it here, but he's not going to. Bozo casts on YouTube win. I'll repent someday, don't worry, it will happen eventually. Taking into damage though, this I'm not really a huge fan of, especially as he's still on 1 PC. Because obviously his opponent just has such a production advantage on him here, that, like, he got armor first, which is the better upgrade you'd say than, like, the speed. Now he's gonna go into Assault Pack, and he just has the upgrade advantage, like, he doesn't have the upgrade disadvantage is what I mean, but he has the production advantage by a huge margin, so... If we continue on this kind of, Strikecraft spam type of gameplay, this is going to favor MarchWaden eventually, but he could click to Assault Ship Fab, could Houston anytime he likes, so... Yeah, he's going to do it now. Maybe he just sees this is a lot of freaking LAV. But I like that Houston, instead of just going for a support cruiser, he's been like, wow, that's a lot of skims you got there. I'm just going to match it with LAVs, so you don't seem to have tech yet. And that's because this could be a rail rush, right? Yeah, it's hard to say, but like, it could be. So, you can see the vision here for MarchWaden. He's never seen that carrier, so... He just wants to be safe, gets a lot of LAVs out, and now he probably will start looking to go up to a support cruiser. And we'll sort of transition into the mid-game, I think. That being said, Houston could die horribly. That's actually on the table here, because there is a window before this assault ship tech is done, and I don't like this PC being so close. Now, these LAVs could sort of Garmulator style just raffle stomp him here. Ooh. Yeah, he doesn't want to be trading, so I think he just wants to go back to the carrier, right? And it feels bad because you lose all that tempo, but like you're not going to win this fight, and in fact the longer you take it the worse it gets. Uh-oh, down to just 4 LAVs. He's really got to get out of here now. He does have rating, right, so he can move pretty zippy. Assault Ship Fab is done. I want to see one of these on the queue instantly. Really got to cancel this skim that's coming out. Oh my, this could be bad. Okay, he's got an assault ship on the queue finally, but like this PC might die. And again, MarchWaden's the kind of player who's got that killer instinct. He'll go for these PC picks when he sees that he can get them. Gonna stop shooting at those, so that probably gives enough time for this AS to come out, but no armor as well. So it's not even necessarily a done deal that like that's gonna end the push here. This PC is still getting lower and lower. Uh-oh. Yeah, and he's gonna focus down this assault ship. Now, silver lining for Houston, we did actually have armor upgrades on these LAVs instead of damage, but they are still gonna kill it. And at this point, he really wants to reallocate power into the weapons there. But yeah, this PC is probably a goner. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. Yeah, good point, Paulus. Ha! Take that, Houston. No, I don't. I don't do that way. But this assault ship going down, that is the last unit for Houston, obviously, and MarchWaden is going to start taking the damage upgrades now. He just, all he needs is LEVs, man. This is like freaking Garmulator 2.0. But I mean, to pull this off in patch, pretty impressive, I gotta say. And he's just going to sit here and trade until he kills all the salvagers. And Houston knows that he's going to GG, wow. Yeah, but see, that's the problem. He didn't power them up, and I think he should have. As well as putting the PC in a bit more of a defensible position, like right here, where it's got some dunes that it can kind of play around. Yeah, I think maybe he could have stayed alive there, but alas, MarchWaden just going to pick him to pieces. So that'll be game one going his way, not the way that we expected it would. Although I will say that MarchWaden is the favor for this series, for sure. But that was not what I expected to see. No tech off the Coalition player. Kind of preparing for the potential rail rush, and then he saw like, hey, if you're not going to get tech either, I can just kind of raffle stomp you here, and he did, so it was well done. Game 2 going to be on the Boneyard. Both players picking Con F this time. Houston had the first pick, and MarchWaden, he decides he's going to, oh my gosh, that's a lot of highlighted messages. Is that just because of how many points you've got, like, on the channel, or what? Anyway, so MarchWaden's going to pick Con F as well. He favors the mirror match here, and Houston is going to pick the Boneyard for the map. MarchWaden getting what we would call the favorite spawn generally. Obviously, third base, right here, very much more defensible for this player than it is for this guy. Not to mention this hill of death. If you ever do a rail rush, if you have this spawn and you can get this hill, you already win the game, which is pretty rough. But although, that reminds me, I had this one game, I was playing against Sparrow. This was a funny one. I was like, I had this spawn, and then I went for like skimmer aggro to try to cancel his rail rush because I knew he was going to go for it. And then like things were going well, I got up to 3 base, and then all of a sudden he showed up here and he took my main base with his carrier. And then I had the rails on this hill. It was like the weirdest game. I think I put it on casual replays because it was just so funny. I might have even cast it. It was the weirdest game I'd ever played. Anyhow, I'm looking at the oh hey, look, a follow. I'm looking at the build orders here. Oh, sick IGN. Nice. And we see that actually MarchWaden is going for a second PC very early here. This is something like Discara will do when he plays GVG. Is that true, or is that when he's doing GVC? I can't exactly remember. Not that Discara has played that many games of GVG, but quite a few. And it's gonna be tech for Houston here as he goes to Assault Ship Fab. But that does mean that MarchWaden has the skimmer advantage in the beginning of the game here. That's kind of what you expect when one player goes for assault ships and the other one doesn't. Normally he'd be going for rails, right? But in this case it's going to be a second PC. Whatever though, he has the skim advantage here, so he'd like to get a bit of pressure if he can. But it's not like he's going to have long distance mining anytime soon. So he doesn't really gain any particular advantage here. I do like loading up one missile here for Houston, but I actually wouldn't have thrown it out just yet. But Power 1 is going to get tech, so he feels like he's going to be attacked now. I like riding it with the sunglasses. Yeah, I set the like the point cost for all of the things that you can do on my channel to like the bare minimum because I thought it was kind of a stupid system. So apparently A-Game just has infinite points. That's whatever. Kind of an interesting trade going on here. I'm honestly a little confused as to how MarchWaden didn't have the DPS to kill off that sand skimmer a bit earlier. But Houston sliding his carrier out here is not exactly the best thing because he does lose a bit of eco for it, but he is going to have the assault ships done now. And MarchWaden has got two PCs out now. March is much better than me. Oh, don't be too humble, man. You can kill him. But yeah, there's no tech here for MarchWaden, and that's what I think is a bit interesting. If Houston gets Armor 1, which he should do on the assault ships, he actually has the push right now. But I mean, how would you feel comfortable having the push? Because you've got to assume that there's rails, right? But there's not actually. So this is kind of an interesting game here. 10 quintillion? That's a lot more than 6. Maybe we should be casting at like this time every day. I don't know. No, I don't think so. I think starting at like 11 a.m. for me and then casting up to this time is like the best for viewership. Blastron attempting to come in here and get something done, but he just can't quite get it. Still no armor on this assault ship here. And I think Houston is starting to float a little bit. So I mean, he could get that tech. He should get that tech. The real question is, what is he going to do when rails finally come out for MarchWaden? Which is taking him some time, but he has got the tech now. And it's going to be assault rails again. We talked about this before. I thought that heavy rails had higher DPS on carriers, and then it turned out like they don't actually. So I realized he's right to be building assault rails instead of heavies. And then mix in a couple of heavy railguns to get that free trading, basically. Yes, no, you're definitely right, MarchWaden. And this is just true of a lot of units in DOK, to be honest, but especially blast drones. The fact that you've got it means that if your skims ever go into like a dangerous position, oh no, they just all blow up, right? Whereas if the blast drone is used and like they come in here trying to make a play happen, all of a sudden the sand skimmers, once they kill it off, they're like, ah, sweet, we can just do whatever the heck we want. So, yeah, hiding the blast drones in the salvager line, that's something that not many people do. But obviously the icon for it, you know, for these guys, it's like the kind of triangle square thing. It's like the square, it's very easy to see. Blast drone's just like a little X, and so if it's hiding inside the salvagers, very, very hard to see it. So that's a play that I like to see people doing. In GVG, I think expanding quickly is risky, but in a lot of other games, I'd actually say, for new players especially, expanding first is like a really good build. Oh gosh, the blast drum. Oh, a little bit late on the fingers. I don't know what I'm trying to say there. That's unfortunate. That could have been a big hit there, but yeah, for newer players, expanding early is actually a very solid strat. Ow. Nice freaking hit there. But again, MarchWaden, he's not going to play this like a siege. He's just going to be like, hey, I mean, I can kill you now, so here I am. And as all these salvagers get kind of ripped off the line, I don't know if Houston is really going to be able to... Well, I'm not going to say that. He's definitely not going to be able to stabilize from this position. He agrees, get a GG. And that's a serious 2-0 for MarchWaden. Perhaps not terribly unexpected, but good try by Houston in doing the unbeatable build, or whatever the under. Yeah, on the freaking spawn for it too, with like the high ground hill here. But... No, I think Houston gave it a good fight, but hopefully he's able to kind of see what his mistakes are from this cast. Obviously, this is a tournament with no eliminations in the group stage, so he is going to be in the upper bracket. So keep your eyes on him. We'll be interested to see how far he goes. That'll be it for this cast, though.